Hello, everybody. Happy September 22nd, 2020. My name is Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show, where we talk all things talents in Connecticut. And on today's show, this is a panel special with two players. Coincidentally enough, both from the NVL. I will start out with, on my left, Aaron Smith from the Naugatucks Greyhounds. Say hello.
What's going on, Chris?
And to my right, a new person on my podcast. Aaron Smith has been on here before. Marcus Rodriguez from the Wolcott Eagles. Say hello, Marcus.
How you doing? Happy to be here.
Great to be able to have you both on. And I think first and foremost, I'll stay with Marcus because the yellow square is lighting up for him. So we'll start off with him here on the podcast. How are you dealing with, and I know this probably is a very dumb question to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How are you dealing with what's going on as far as kind of the back and forth and finally being told last week on 11 on 11 is not happening?
So I'm staying in shape through all of this, even though we're not practicing at all. But I'm really upset because this is supposed to be my big season to come out, and they just canceled it on me with all the work that I put in this summer.
And when you talk about kind of this was supposed to be your big season, for the people who may not know who you are, kind of describe why this was your big season.
I started last year, but I was just getting into playing varsity ball, and now I put in a lot of work to get my body right and to get my strength up, and I've been getting my speed up too, and I've been ready for this season for a while now.
Aaron, I know you can probably attest to that, if not even more, because I had you on and we were talking about how you were going to get a lot of the carries. You know, you were going to have an opportunity to really kind of lay the foundation for what could have been a very, successful season for you. You bought your time and waited. You finally had a chance, and then coronavirus happens.
Yeah, but I just think it's just so disappointing because I think there's ways to go around it. I mean, when I watch college football, it just disappoints me. So, just to see, it's not that all the hard work was for nothing, but, I still got to, put my head down and, do what I've been doing. But it's been so hard just to try and let it sink in. It hasn't sinking in yet. And I hope maybe we get to play in the spring, but that's just all I'm praying for right now.
Aaron, I want to stay with you because you mentioned about the spring, and I don't know if Coach Ali, who is now hopefully he has a chance to coach. I mean, he's deserved it. Again, you and I talked about that and what he's meant to you and the rest of the players on the Naugatuck Greyhounds. He's just waiting for a chance to coach. Has he been talking with you about, has he had any discussions with the AD or with anybody about potentially maybe there being a spring season?
Yeah, he's done a great job. He's been up there, trying to do anything we can, at least for the fall. Because, obviously all our heads turn to spring because we don't want to play 7-on-7 without our whole team. And I'm sure Marcus can say the same thing. He doesn't want to play without, his whole team. We work together with these guys. I've been here 4 years and, it's my senior year and I've been battling it with my guys. So it meant so much to me for this season to possibly be getting taken away from me. So, but Coach Gray, he's doing a great job, and I give all my respect to him.
I know, Marcus, you can attest to that too, because the way Wolcott ended last season, I thought was very impressive. I was able to broadcast 2 of your guys' games during your win streak, and the biggest one was against Sacred Heart, where you guys were just beyond the fact that you guys just demolished them. The fact that you guys were running on all cylinders, offensively, defensively, it seemed like everything seemed to be going well. You finished the season strong by defeating Holy Cross, and it was something to build on for what could have been a very big season. You mentioned about yourself, but also the season or the team rather for the Wolcott Eagles, and then have this happen. It's like you just want to play in the spring. You just want something.
Yeah, we had a great group of kids that came out together last year. It took us a couple games. It took us about 3 games to get our whole team together. But once we figured it out, we started balling for the rest of that year. Everybody started meshing together. We found the right groups for the right people, and we were ready to play this year. We definitely were.
When you found out about the football season being at least for 11 on 11 not happening for the fall, what was it like as far as the discussions with your team and the coaches, or kind of was it like it's almost like the emotions were kind of drained out because you guys were so PO'd?
So I know in practice, our coaches had us running 40s for college, And that was the day we kind of found out that we weren't going to have a season, at least for the fall. And I know, at least for the linemen that in the group that I was in, we were all devastated. We were really upset because we've all been grinding, and we were ready to play. We were really ready for the season.
And you talk about the offensive line. I think that's something where at the time when DPH said, "Oh, well, you guys can play 7-on-7," kind of forgetting about, a position that I've always really been big on, which is you need, in the nice way I'm saying this, the big uglies. You need to have the hogs, because without them, there's really, Aaron could speak because he's a running back. You need those big guys to be able to kind of do the dirty work.
Yeah. Our QB and our running back there, they said they wouldn't play without us because they know how important we are to them and how important they are to us. And we were one team at the end. We don't want to split ourselves up.
Aaron, I guess I could say the same question for you. I'm sure you feel the same way.
I said the same thing. I told all my linemen, I said, listen, you guys are my bread and butter. I can't do nothing without them. I'm extremely blessed to have made the All-NVL team last year, but none of that would have happened if my offensive line didn't give me, they worked their tails off. They were all, they're all banged up, but it was still fun, even with all the adversity we had last year. We didn't finish off very strong, but I told them this year, we were all excited. We worked hard in the summer, and I told them, I said, listen, I'm not doing none of the 7-on-7 stuff. I'm here for you guys. I'm not here for me. Obviously I want to go play in college, but I'm here for you. I'm here for you guys. And it was to our seniors and our younger guys, because a lot of our younger guys are starting to step up, and that's what devastated me the most. I wanted to play with these guys one last time, and I'm hoping we get that chance.
Now, in between all that, there was news that broke out about a player from Maloney who tested positive for the coronavirus, and he was at the rally in in Hartford, because they were at the state capitol. Were either of you at that rally?
Yeah,
I was there.
Okay, so when you guys saw the news, I'll start off with Aaron. What was your first thought? Because I know a lot of people who I asked when I saw the report, there was more anger because it seemed like the player was kind of put on almost like, I don't want to say a scapegoat, but it seemed like, oh, he's the reason why, he's the bad person, when really he's a 15, 16-year-old young man.
Yeah, I didn't look at it like that at all. A lot of us, I saw a lot of posters that day, and it was just, we don't, it's not that we don't want people to be safe. We want everybody to be safe. But at the end of the day, we all know the risks that we're taking, but, we do it because we love this game, and we put our heart and our souls, the blood, the sweat, the tears. We've been, some of these kids that are in high school, like myself, have been playing for 10 years, and, football has taken me places I never imagined. And so when we had 1,100 kids there, whatever, and it was such a great turnout, it was awesome. But then, it was a great turnout for, us kids to show that, we have a voice and we really do care. And then to see that be tweeted out, and then like to kind of single him out, I didn't like that at all. I didn't like it at all.
Marcus, I'm sure you felt the same exact way.
I'm thinking the same thing as him. We had our mask on the whole time. There was not one person that I seen in that whole rally without a mask. There were people giving out hand sanitizer, and I feel like we handled that very well. And I feel like they didn't really give that rally a chance to show our point.
Do you think, Marcus, because again, I don't know if this is factual, I'm just basing off this my opinion. Do you think there are maybe some people out there in the media who don't want to see football played for whatever reason? They want to see the virus kind of do what it's been doing?
Absolutely. I feel like in the Department of Health, there are people that really don't care about football and don't understand our point of view of where we're at, because we really will do anything to have our season. They don't understand how much we care about this season, and how this is for most of our seniors, this is the last time playing. This is our last time that we could ever touch the field together. We're brothers, and they just took it away from us.
Aaron, I want to go to you real quick, because I think, I've talked to you on and off since we had the interview about what's been going on. And I kind of brought up the idea about how DPH when they allowed you guys to practice on July 6th, I don't think they ever truly understood, or maybe even would have been aware, that the cases would be continuing to go down rather than up. So I wonder if DPH thought all along, well, we'll let them practice because we know that cases will spike. We can say we were right, and the rest is history. But the opposite happened.
So it just, I don't even know what to say, to be honest, just because I've been so like devastated, it's to have it taken away. I mean, and like you said, for the cases to go down and to still just not even put it into consideration, just give it a chance. And it was right when we were supposed to get helmets and shoulder pads. So, we're all sitting there thinking like, okay, we'll give it some time, but we'll be out in the field soon. And like Marcus said, we'll do whatever it takes. I don't care if I got to wear a mask, when I take my helmet off on the sideline, or if I got to, if we got to spread out 6 feet on the sideline, but just, to not like I can't even sleep just without it just crossing my mind all the time, like crying myself to sleep just because it like Marcus said, it's my last time playing for this school, my teammates, and some of these kids I grew up playing Pop Warner with, and so I just have this bond, and I feel like we were really starting to come together as a group and as a team, and so it's so like just hard to endure, and it's so difficult to understand why they did this. There's no reason to it. There's no reason to it.
I apologize for cutting you off, Aaron. I really do wonder, and I've expressed this to coaches that I've talked to, if DPH really understands what they have done as far as the psychological damage, what they've done to not just to the coaches and the players, but just everybody involved. I mean, considering what has been going on as far as you're playing, you're not playing, you're paused. Oh, you're going to play. Here's a plan. Oh, sorry, no plan. You're just not going to do 11 on 11. Like the amount of stress. I mean, you're this, fourth person that's told me about how they've barely slept. I had a coach tell me he slept 4 hours in 3 days. That's not healthy. Marcus?
I was stressing the whole time through all of this. All I could think about was football, because without football, I don't know what I would do, to be honest. That gives me the motivation to get my grades up for college during school when I play football. That's really what it does for me.
I'll stay with Marcus here. I think that's another point too, that if football for some people is kind of that avenue to get to school, for others it is school, but if school is not the option only because of, for various reasons, difficulty, classes, etc., kind of football is that outlet to be able to help escape from what could be something at home, or from what, like you mentioned, how just school being maybe just school's not for everybody. It's difficult.
School, you see, I'm going to play football in college, and I have to keep my grades up at all the time. But without football, it's hard to even focus, because it's like all I could think about is what I could be really doing right now on the field, and it's just terrible. Same for all my seniors. We all are having trouble with school right now.
Aaron, I guess the same question for you. I mean, are the seniors all kind of in the same boat as with Marcus as well?
Yeah, I definitely am. I mean, just I don't know what to do with all this free time. I mean, I go to the gym, I go work out, I go run, whatever. But then I go home and I don't know what to do right after that. I mean, when I'd usually be at practice right now. I mean, it's only 5 o'clock. I'd be at practice till, 6:30, at least 7 o'clock. And so it's so difficult to try to, put us in this position, and we're young, and a lot of us still are just so emotional, myself included. And it like Marcus said, I can't even focus doing school. I'm sitting online, whatever, I'll do what I got to do, but it's so much more difficult, and just it's hard to find motivation without football there to push me.
I want to talk about this independent league that Fairfield County is trying to assemble. I've been seeing it on the Facebook page of Let Us Play and whatnot about how teams are coming in. Some teams are not because of the superintendents. I'll stay with Aaron first. Kind of, I'm still trying to gather information about this league, but from what I have read from Game Time from one of the writers, he kind of mentioned how the high schools are not allowing the teams to use their equipment. So now you take into account the equipment, which is already costly as is. Then you add in the playing fee, you start getting to very sticky situations with money.
Yeah, I talked to my athletic director today about that, and he just said like it's just so difficult we're trying to get clearance, so you guys can do that, because I think he said he saw something where it's like, oh, maybe $1,000 or something, including, that's not even including, the pads and all that. That's just like the play fee, like you said. And, and it's just like, it's terrible, because these coaches are trying to give us a chance, and, it just seems like it's just stuff piled on stuff, stuff being piled on top of another. Because you got kids, maybe somebody can afford all that, but then you got another kid that can't. And then that turns into 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids. And it's most likely going to be most of these teams, varsity teams. And so that just brings me back to, playing with, what we call our brothers, our family. And so I don't want to play with anybody else but my team. And so if that means that, if that means I can't play with my teammates, then is it really worth it? Because these are the guys I came into high school with. They came into high school after me. And then but we just have this special bond, and I don't want to play with nobody else but my guys.
Marcus?
Exact same thing as him, to be honest. I talked to my coach about it a week ago, and he said no matter what type of funding we can do or what kind of fundraisers we can do, there's just no way that we can get our whole varsity team on the field at once. Because it's just, I've been hearing all different prices, but I'm hearing around $500 to $1,000 a player.
That's ridiculous. I mean, especially now with what's going on as far as with the pandemic and people losing jobs and so on and so forth, that amount of money needs to be used. I mean, that could be people's food for the month, maybe more. And I don't know. I've talked with a couple players who I've had on about this league, and I'm sure you guys have been talking about it with everybody that you can. And I'll stay with Marcus here. I wasn't completely sold on the league, A, because of the money side, 2, because of the insurance, because it seems like nothing's going to get passed with the insurance, but also 2, the fact that I felt like this was going to affect high school sports for various reasons.
Yeah, there's no way, no matter how they ran this league, it could be the same thing as high school. It would be more of an AAU thing, because for one, we wouldn't even be wearing the same uniforms that we have, because I know our school would not let us do that. And this league, it's just there's not enough people to actually run this league successfully to make it like how high school was.
Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, there's, especially I know the kids on our team. I mean, they don't have, the money financially to, pay for all this, like you said. I mean, they need that, and so, to piggyback off Marcus, I mean, there's literally pretty much no way that this would work out. I mean, it would be nice, we're all eager just to step forth on the field again, with each other, but I mean, there's pretty much no way.
It's a great idea for, the way I look at it is if you have an idea, you have to look at it in how does it affect this party? How does it affect this side? You kind of have to look at it from more of a broad perspective. And I almost feel like the idea, and I could be wrong, I haven't talked to anybody from Fairfield County about it. So if they see this and want to reach out to me, feel free. I'd love to talk to you about it. But from my point of view, and I'll stay with Aaron on this, seeing the idea and where the idea came from, which is Fairfield County. And I've always said, when you speak of Fairfield County, you always add a $sign after the county. Yep. Because there's money there. When that idea came from there, that's the first thing that I thought of was they could pay for it. They have the money. But up here, at least in the Valley, because I'm familiar with it and I've seen a lot of players. This is not, we're not driving Bugattis and Maseratis around here.
yeah, it's nothing comes easy, and you know, I'm blessed to have parents that work very hard for me, my brother, and my sister. So, you know, my parents, you know, maybe we can, you know, afford that, but you know, I mean, like you said about Fairfield County, some teams can do this, and most teams can't. I mean, and it's not the biggest state in the world, but you know, there's a lot of teams and a lot of players that just they want an opportunity, and especially the senior class. So um, I don't think we can really step forth in doing this because you know I mean like we were saying that I don't it's not going to be possible for every team to do this. So I guess we just have to bank on the spring and just hope CIAC allows that.
Marcus?
Yeah, same thing as what he said. I have great parents that would support me with this opportunity, but they want everybody to pay for this league right now, and that's so much money to the point you can't afford this right now. And I know on my team, I doubt if we can get 5 to 10 players to do this right now. It would be very hard to do that. In either way, it's already coming late in the season where snow's going to be coming in another month. What are we going to have? Maybe 5 games before the whole league gets shut down?
Yeah, that's the part too, because by the time you get, you know, the league and the pads and everything that you need, and by the time the season starts itself, you're probably talking what, maybe mid-October? And how many games are you going to play? Maybe 3, maybe a couple.
Yeah, there's going to be too much snow for it.
And then what's going to happen too when, for example, you're hearing about a second wave? Well, if school's going to close, let's say, because I already know it's already happened in Naugatuck. Well, I think twice, correct, or once?
Once.
Once, okay. So what happens when a school closes if a kid has COVID or someone is in the area and they have to take them out and, you know, that they have to close the school? I mean, are they still going to play football? Are they still going to have this? I mean, there's so many things I don't think they're taking into perspective. Marcus?
I agree with you 100%. If school closes down, there's no practices, there's nothing. If we had football, it would need to be ran by the school because there's just too many precautions that we can't handle ourselves. We do need the CIAC's guidance, but we can't. But with the Department of Health not letting us play, there's just no way we can make this happen.
No, and I can only imagine what's going to happen. I mean, the battle's far from over. I think we're all at least hoping for something. I know, like I mentioned, the ECC has their own alternative league. Maybe the NVO could do something like that. Maybe there'll be a spring season. There's still plenty, you know, they dangled the carrot saying, oh, maybe there's a spring. So I don't know, guys, but hey, I really do appreciate you coming on. Marcus, it was a pleasure to be able to have you.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Aaron, great to have you back on again for a second time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris.
No problem. I'll wrap things up in the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. And remember, CT stands for Connecticut Talent, and I'm on a journey to find them all. Have a good one, everybody, and be well.